Okay, y'all. I've been really, really struggling with this. You know, um, I don't know what I wanted to say. What should my story time be? I just really didn't know. But then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I share so much of this medical coding journey with you guys anyway. How can I not share this part of my journey with you? And so today is the day. Today, let's talk about my first 60 days in a supervisor role in our medical coding department. If you're new here, my name is Kat, and I am a certified medical coder that is now a supervisor in the revenue cycle. I'm also a certified as a medical coding auditor, and I am a business owner. I own a medical billing business. But we're going to focus on the supervisory role in my 9 to 5. And y'all, let me tell you, this supervisor role, oh my goodness. These first 60 days has been a whole experience. I'm talking about excitement, I'm talking about nervousness, imposter syndrome, all the things wrapped into one. If you ever thought about making a move from coding to leadership, you probably don't want to stick around for this whole video. So, picture this, me sitting there like, oh my God, what did I just agree to? What did I just sign up for? I was super excited when I first got the offer. I'm not gonna lie, but I was also anxious. And if y'all know me, if y'all been following me for any amount of time, you probably know that I also struggle with a little bit of imposter syndrome as well. Like for real, me a supervisor in a hospital in corporate America. Even though I run my own business, meaning I manage a couple clinics already, I manage the billing teams in those clinics. That's on the business side. For some reason, this felt different. I didn't think I was ready. I didn't even think I was almost worthy of it. Where the heck does that come from? But the wow part, my team was actually super happy that I stepped in. They told me straight up that they was relieved that somebody from the inside took the position instead of an outsider who didn't know us, who would have came in and probably changed up the vibe. So that gave me a little bit more confidence and it made me feel better to keep pushing into this role. Now let me tell y'all, a lot has happened within these 60 days. I hired a new coder, I trained a new coder, I had to have tough conversations, and I've been attending a shit ton of meetings. Hiring a new coder was real interesting. That means I had to review resumes. I got to see the different styles of resumes, and it gave me a little bit of insight on what to look for and what managers look for when they're looking to hire a coder. I got to sit in on interviews and actually conduct my own interviews. That was super exciting because I got to ask the questions. I got to make the decisions, who I wanted on my team, what qualities I was looking for, and really listen to how people come up with answers on the spot when they do interviews. I consider myself a good interviewer. I mean, pretty much every job that I've ever interviewed for, I got an offer for. But sitting on the other side of that hit a little bit different. And I started like doing monthly one-on-ones with each of my team members. Those are always interesting. You learn so much about your teammates in those one-on-ones. And yeah, like I said before, a shit ton of meetings. Baby, meetings on meetings on meetings on meetings. I mean, leadership meetings, IT meetings, epic meetings, department meetings, clinical staff meetings, you name it. We always are in meetings. That's crazy. In these first 60 days, I also am helping build out career plans for some of my coders. Some of my coders have aspirations of leveling up in this field, and so I am helping to coach them through that. And we also are starting to restructure our department because we have some ideas on how we can make the department more efficient and better. In my opinion, it's really, really weighing heavily in these discussions. We're looking for ways to actually keep the morale up. We have a very good rapport so far anyway, but we want to keep that going. But I realized that in order to do that, this means that I have to sit back and really observe what's going on in the revenue cycle department from a supervisor's chair, not just from a coding perspective, a teammate perspective, but from leadership perspective. In addition to thinking about what my team wants and needs from me, I also have to think about the needs of the business as a whole. So that entails a lot of things: learning how to run reports, learning how to understand policies and restructure, all of it. My mindset is starting to shift from how do I code better to how do I help my team to thrive in this department. That's a whole new ball game for me. Now, it is some challenges in this role. I'm gonna keep that real with you. The hardest part for me is being organized. You know, I think it probably was harder because I was still also coding and leading at the same time. And child, balancing all that is a mess. I had to juggle between coding, flipping my brain from coding 1 minute to being a leader another minute. And part of that was juggling some tough conversations. I had to make some tough decisions and basically rewire my brain into that of a leadership and owning my own decisions and choices and delegations. To help me out with this, especially with the organization part, I had to like get some arsenals in, meaning I had to create more spreadsheets, I had to buy planners, I had to develop systems. That's my biggest tip is you already develop a system of workflow when you're a coder, but now you have to 10x that system as a leader. But the biggest shift in all this was giving myself permission to rest. Because as someone that's in a new role, you, especially if you're like me, a semi overachiever, you tend to want to do it all and pile so much on your plate. And I'm feeling overloaded and overwhelmed. And it was times that I would just come home and just be still because it was just too much going on in my head. So I had to take a look at myself and say, look, Kat, you need to rest sometimes. You can't lead nobody if you are running on empty and don't have nothing to give. So take a break. But I wouldn't change this journey for nothing in the world. I've learned a lot in these last 60 days. Like when I had to have tough conversations with my coders, um, that wasn't something that I was really looking forward to, especially in the first 60 days. It was rough, but it had to be done. And honestly, I'm happy that I got it out the way because now it's just building that muscle for when the next situation that comes up, I will be a bit more prepared. All of this job isn't about stress though. For me, the best part is seeing the confidence in my team, seeing how happy they were to have a fellow coder. I just take the position of leadership. Building trust in my team and in my department means so much to me, and I take pride into prioritizing that. I'm learning how to just help develop the team and see it in a way that is being productive. And speaking of being productive, I'm also having to learn how to read metrics and enforce them. I'm learning how to look at the productivity reports, looking at denial trends, coming up with policies, doing a bit more deep dive into research, not just tracking numbers, but creating and learning from all of this data reports. I don't want the metrics to be a hammer. I want them to be a mirror of my team so we can see how we are growing and how we are shining. So what's next? These first 60 days have been super exciting and I have been learning so much. So what's next is for me to keep listening to my team and to build upon the things that they want. As a leader, I want to be the spokesperson for my team. I want to be able to help them to grow in their careers and I want them to thrive in their fields. I really want them to retire from this place and I want to be a part of the reason why they find their position at our hospital a rewarding and exciting one. I want them to feel valued. I want them to feel like they have a future and their future is bright within this department. So yeah, my leadership style is more of a mentor style. I don't want to be the smartest person in on my team and I know I'm not by far at all. Don't even get it twisted. But I do want everyone's skill to shine. Whatever everyone is good at, I want the whole hospital to know that our team has something to contribute to the success of this company. So that's it. That's my first 60 days in a nutshell. It's been exciting. It's been a nerve. It's been a nerve winding roller coaster. I've had to have tough conversations. Been a bunch of meetings, but overall, I've grown. Not only as a coder, not only as a leader, not only as a business person, but as a woman. Now I want to hear from y'all. Have you ever thought about stepping into a leadership role? I know a lot of you guys that follow me are just getting started in your medical coding career. But I always preach to start this career with the end in mind. Where do you want to end up? Let's talk about it. And thank you guys for staying all the way to the end and listening to my journey, my first 60 days. I'll update you soon.